Are you concerned that you have erectile dysfunction? If you are, ask yourself these questions.
Do you have issues getting an erection?
Are you unable to sustain an erection?
Do you have difficulties or an inability to get an orgasm?
Do you have flaccid erections?
Or maybe your erections are fine, but you're just not lasting as long as you'd like in bed.
You could also have pain with erections.
You can also have pain with orgasms.
If you answered yes to one or more of these questions, that's a reliable indicator that you have some form of erectile dysfunction. However, we need to figure out what kind of erectile dysfunction you have because you could end up making it worse.
That's right. If you're doing the wrong exercises, you could actually exacerbate your symptoms.
So in this video, we are going to help identify whether or not you have erectile dysfunction and then help you identify which exercise you should be doing to improve the issue. Hey guys, it's Dean. This is Manful Yoga. Today I've got Lance Frank with me. He is a doctor of physical therapy and a pelvic floor specialist, and he is going to be helping us better understand erectile dysfunction. So what's the first thing we need to understand about fixing erectile dysfunction?
Well, so from a musculoskeletal standpoint, if there's no medical issue or underlying sinister issue going on, people can experience erectile dysfunction from an overactive pelvic floor or an underactive pelvic floor.
Got it. So we need to make sure we figure out if the issue is related to overactive or underactive before we start fixing it.
That's right. If you're doing the wrong exercise prescription, you could actually make your symptoms worse.
Got it. And by the way, guys, if you need more guidance, if you're not feeling certain or confident in doing this yourself, it's always a good idea to go see a physical therapist, particularly one who is trained in pelvic floor. So let's start off with erectile dysfunction if you have an overactive pelvic floor. What are some of those common cases?
So somebody with an overactive pelvic floor, these are the people that are just tightly clenched all the time, the tight asses. I always give the clenched fist analogy. If you squeeze your fist really hard and then open it up, you can kind of see all the blood flow that kind of drains back into the hand. So if people are walking around with a clenched fist, they're not getting any blood flow into the pelvic floor all the time. And so these are the type A, the high strung, the high stress, the overachievers. These people usually they're able to get an erection, but have a really difficult time maintaining that erection. So their erections are a little bit more flaccid.
I thought that erectile dysfunction was only in older people.
Not always. This age range, typically in the clinic, I see anywhere from 20s to 40 age range.
Wow. Okay. So you could be in your 30s, have erectile dysfunction, but it's not related to weakness.
No. Well, yes and no. The pelvic floor muscles, they're so strong that inherently they're weak. If you're already clenched as hard as you can, inherently that's a weak muscle. So their pelvic floor muscles are too strong, so they need to learn how to relax in order for them to be the most optimal.
Is premature ejaculation a form of erectile dysfunction?
No. Erections and ejaculation are separate phenomenons. So whenever we're talking about erectile dysfunction, we're purely looking at if somebody can get and or maintain an erection. So ejaculation is the end result of getting an erection.
Got it. So we'll make a separate video on premature ejaculation. Be sure to check that out if you're here for that. And then on the flip side, if you have an underactive pelvic floor, what does erectile dysfunction look like for that?
So these people are generally in the older age range. They just need a little bit more strengthening to the tissues because the muscles are too weak to even maintain that erection that those muscles are responsible for. So as we age, generally muscles just get a little weaker anyway, and if the muscles of the pelvic floor aren't strong enough to get the erection, so if the muscles aren't strong enough to get the penis up into an erection, then that's where people might not even be able to get an erection in the first place.
Got it. So if you are underactive, then you need to work on strengthening. And if you're overactive, you need to work on relaxing. What do you need to focus on when it comes to relaxing your pelvic floor?
Breath work is really important. Learning how to control your breathing in tandem with being able to actually expand and relax the tissues in the pelvic floor. That pairing is the most important thing that I always teach all my patients in the clinic.
And then are there stretches that can help?
Yes. So we pair this breathing mechanism with other flexibility work surrounding the hips, the low backs, and the abdomen.
Got it. And then if you have an underactive pelvic floor, what types of exercise should you focus on?
Exercises that isolate the pelvic floor specifically, and then being able to recruit those specific muscles within other larger exercises like squats or deadlifts or lunges.
Somebody should definitely make workouts that show people what they should be doing for each condition.
I think that's what we're doing here in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Cool. So if you guys need workouts for that, we've got 2 10-minute workouts, one for an underactive pelvic floor, one for an overactive pelvic floor. So figure out which one you need to do, and then click the links in the description and follow along. You should notice improvements within a few weeks.
So the exercises that we're going to go over are the exact exercises that I give patients in the clinic, and typically we should expect to see some kind of change within the first 6 to 8 weeks of starting a program.
Cool. All right, guys. If you don't want to miss out on any other pelvic floor videos, be sure to subscribe here to the Manful Yoga YouTube channel. Like the video if you found it useful. Leave a comment if you have feedback or a suggested topic. And then go follow Lance.
You can find me on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, all at Lance in Your Pants, or you can check out my website, flexptatl.com.
Cool. All right, guys. Go do your workout. The one over here is for an underactive pelvic floor. Click that and get started.